So now what? These three words raced through my mind time and time again during my journey through fertility treatments. I tried desperately to have a child, but never was able. I yearned for a community to join that could understand my struggles. I couldn't find one, so I created one with the So Now What podcast. I love that you found us. Well, what a weekend it was. This weekend was the Other's Day brunch on Saturday. Saturday before Mother's Day is our Other's Day celebration every year, and I don't even know that I have the words to describe how overjoyed I am by the people that came to Chicago to celebrate. So many people from out of town, so many people here in Chicago, people that I didn't ever know or meet, but heard about the event and decided to find connection and create connection on a weekend that can commonly be hard for many. So the Other's Day brunch was an absolute success, so much so that it got national media coverage on News Nation Network. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it, go to my Instagram page. You'll be able to watch it, or you can go to my Facebook page. I'll probably link it into my YouTube page, but it was a beautiful story. And the reporter that covered it, ironically, her father was is a reproductive endocrinologist. And I was just so overjoyed by her interest in having our story be told about how disconnected some women can feel around Mother's Day weekend and Mother's Day when they are either not moms themselves or they don't have a bond or a mom in their life that they're able to celebrate. So it was just wonderful. In our sister cities, I've been getting great feedback from them, and I'm just full of pride and also full of anticipation for what this holds, because I know that the response that we've gotten about the Other's Day brunch, I know it's not going to end. I know that there's so many women who are just going to continue to hear about it and realize that there is a place for them on Mother's Day weekend where they can go and fit in and feel loved and not feel so disconnected. So if you didn't get to join us this year in Chicago, please plan on May 11th of 2024 being here in Chicago for the Other's Day brunch. Another big thing this weekend, in addition to the Other's Day brunch and being interviewed live on a national news network, it was my birthday. So I had a birthday on Sunday, yes, on Mother's Day, and I wanted to talk about birthdays this week because there's a lot of women as they begin to age and become further and further away from their vision of motherhood and their biological clock that takes them further away from naturally being able to conceive. There's a lot of women that feel a lot of disconnection around birthday time. And I know that that was something that I did for a long time. So I'd love to talk about that this week and talk about what it is that you're feeling as a birthday is approaching for you and what you make it mean when you grow another year older. And maybe what we can do to reframe the fear that we have about aging and the things that we make a birthday mean to us when we are childless, not by choice. So think about, if you can, what getting older means to you. For some people, you may think that it's less time to do what you want to do. It may be that things are becoming more and more apparent, that they did not turn out like you thought that they would. And that might give you some anxiousness. And if you're feeling that and seeing that, I get it. I spent a lot of time feeling very disconnected from this aging that I was experiencing and this life that I was living because it looked so different than I thought it was going to be. So I'd like you to first think about what it is you want to do. If you're thinking about all these things that you have yet to do, take some time to write them down. Actually give yourself an opportunity to pay attention to what is that thing or two or three that you are like feeling anxious that you haven't accomplished yet in your life. And don't fear writing it down because it seems unattainable to you. Think about just writing it down without judgment and get curious about what are some of the things that you are wishing you would have done by now, or wishing you had the opportunity to pursue, and put it down on paper and just sit with it for a little bit. Think about what part of the thing that you're wishing to accomplish, what part of it attracts you? Is it something that you always thought you wanted to do, or is it something that you truly do want to do? Is it something that is in alignment with who you are today and the life that you've experienced to date? And if it's something that you thought you always wanted to do, but it truly doesn't really have an interest to you, but you feel like because you committed to it so many years ago that it's something that you should still be accountable to achieve, be okay with letting go of that and saying, where I'm at today, that is just not something that's of interest to me anymore. And let it take its weight off you and let yourself just put it aside and say, you know what? I've changed my vision and changed my interest level, and that's just something that I don't have a desire to achieve in my life anymore. I also think some of us become afraid of aging and getting older because as women without children or women who are childless, not by choice, for us, we have this fear about our end of life. So as we add another year onto our age, we are subconsciously becoming more fearful about how we will end up aging and what life will look like as you get older. Who will take care of you? Who will pay attention to you? Who will come visit you? Who will take you to doctor's appointments? All these things that, yes, I understand seem really scary and a lot of unknowns. But what if we allow ourselves to say, you know what, right now, I'm going to grow another year older and I'm not going to worry about that part of my life yet. I'm not going to fear that part of my life yet, but I am going to take opportunity to see what it is that I want to celebrate that's in my life right now. Because I think it's so easy for our minds to take us to this place of the unknown and forget about where you are today. And you skip over this amazingness and this growth and this opportunity to really celebrate the woman that you are in this age and in this life right now, because the fear overshadows the ability to focus on who you are. So maybe start to think about what are some of the things that you accomplished in this year. That's something that I did coming on the last couple days of, leading up to my birthday. I really gave myself an opportunity to recall all the things that I did this year. And this might help you if you go through your camera roll. Start with, for me, my birthday's in May. So I started in May of 2022. And I looked through everything that I had a picture of in that month. And it helped to really jog my memory of some things that I did, some fun times that I had, some people that I met, interactions that I had with others, successes in my workplace, things that I did in my coaching community. So maybe go through your camera roll and go by month and create a list of the things that stood out for you when you look through your camera roll or when you think about some things that you've done, and build some opportunities for yourself to recall all the wonderful things that you did accomplish in this year, and allow that to outweigh the fear that you have about the things that are unknown to you and the things that you might be fearing that potentially might not ever happen. You might not grow old alone in a nursing home. Like, we just are very attached to believing that as women who are childless, not by choice. But what if that's not even going to be something that happens to you, and you've spent all this time fearing it and overlooking the things that you've continuously shown up for yourself doing in your life? So when you think about listing out all those things, really allow yourself to say, what are some of the things that I did in this year, in this past year, leading up to my birthday? And what are some of the things that you want to continue on doing in this next year? What are some of the things that made you feel really, really good that you want to elaborate on, or maybe be part of a regular routine for you, or something that you commit to doing every year? And how can you bring more of that into this year ahead for you? So some ideas to think about, because I understand how growing older can feel very fearful for you, but it doesn't have to. It could just be part of life. And imagine what it would feel like to be excited about celebrating a birthday, and to be excited about celebrating all of the beautiful things that you just innately accomplish and do every day in your life, or the life that actually, when you look through that camera roll, you see it ain't half bad. But for some reason, there is this story that has just repeated in your mind telling you that getting old is scary, and getting old is a representation or an opportunity to point out things that maybe don't make you feel so good. And just allow that chatter to maybe listen to it, allow it to show up, and then just say, thank you. I listened to you, and I've decided that I don't want to believe that story, or maybe I don't want to believe that whole story. And decide what parts of your story you want to believe. So happy birthday to me. I'm very proud of the community that I have continued to build in this year of my life. And I couldn't have done it without each of you who have come and celebrated the true and the real and the raw emotions of being childless, not by choice, or childless after infertility. And I really am so appreciative that you allow me to come here every week and create a connection, not only for me, but with you and to you, because you might hear a lot of your story through me telling mine. And that's what really motivates me, is to continue to tell my story, because I know for so long how silent I kept about my story, because I had a lot of shame about my infertility and about my inability to become a mom. And to be on this side of things and to be able to share this every week publicly with you and the rest of my listeners and supporters, I really am just so excited about what is ahead for me. And I no longer fear getting old, because I know that my life is just starting to bud and blossom, because I am living this true version of me, and recognizing that the circumstances that I've had in my life don't have to hold me back. And I hope the same for you in this year of your life. So before I let you go for this week, I just want to tell you that this next round of Thrive After Infertility is going to be starting in June. So if you've heard me talk about the mastermind and it's something that is of interest to you, I encourage you to apply. The application is available on my website or in my Instagram, in the link tree in my Instagram. And if you've been thinking about creating a life that you can truly love, where you want to thrive and feel fulfilled without the children you always dreamed you would have, and meet some awesome women along the way, The Thrive After Infertility Mastermind is where you can do just that. So Thrive is a 12-week small group class of women just like you who are seeking growth beyond their infertility. And it is such a magical experience. And even seeing at the Others Day, I had a group that went through Thrive some months back that only met over Zoom every week, and they all came in and met in person for the first time at the Others Day brunch. And it was just so beautiful to see this connection that they had to each other because of their time in the Thrive After Infertility Mastermind. So if you've been thinking about Thrive, I encourage you to join. It is just so magical and such an opportunity to really grow and create this life that you are so deserving of, even though you didn't have the children you always dreamed you would. So have a beautiful week. Thank you to everyone for supporting me on the Others Day and for your beautiful birthday wishes. Have a beautiful week. And remember, it is never too late to discover your meaning. I'll talk to you next week.